where we break down the laws that shape your everyday life. So today's episode on our podcast, the title will be Goods or Goods Enough? What SOGA really does say. Hey everyone, welcome back to Legal Lens Malaysia. It's Edryn here, and today we got something every online shopper can relate to. Picture this: you've been waiting all week for your online parcel, and you finally unbox your brand new premium headphones. But the sound's fuzzy, and the build feels cheap, and the logo looks a little off. So now you're wondering, can I return this? Can I ask for a replacement? Or even claim damages? So believe it or not, that everyday frustration actually connects to a real legal principles in Malaysia. The Sale of Goods Act 1957, or SOGA for short. So today our team is diving deep into what SOGA really says about goods, what counts as goods enough, and how it protects its both buyers and sellers. So joining me and my co-hosts, we have MEGAT, Hani, LUTFI, and also AMIR and Hanu, which will be joining us online. Together we will unpack how SOGA defines goods, explore conditions and warranties, and also discuss landmark cases and even see how Malaysia companies globally. So grab your coffee and let's jump right in.
Thanks, Edryn. Basically, to understand SOGA, we start with the basics. Okay, so there are a few key implied conditions that are used to be used. We have three. The first one is the condition as the title. Second one is the condition as the description, and the third one is the condition as the quality of witness. So for the quality of condition as the title, the seller must have the legal right to sell the goods. For example, if someone sells a car that actually belongs to someone else, the buyer has a right to reject it. So for the condition as to description, the goods must match the description that was given. So if a product is advertised as 100% leather, but turns out to be synthetic, that's a breach of this condition. As for condition to quality of witness, the goods must be of good, merchantable quality and suitability of the purpose the buyer wants. So, giving an example, imagine a customer buys a brand new smartphone from store, but when they take it home, it keeps overheating and won't charge properly. Even though the customer didn't specifically ask about the phone's performance, it understood that the new phone should work properly. So basically in this case, the seller has reached the implied condition of quality and fitness for purpose under the Sale of Goods Act. So in short, SOGA they protect buyers by making sure that when we pay for something, we actually get what was promised, goods that are legally sold, correctly described and of acceptable quality.
The key section is section 16 of the Sales of Goods Act 1957, so which it covers implied condition about quality and fitness for purpose. So, and of course we have two classic cases. So first is the Brown versus the Australian Knitting Mills 1936. So whereas the buyer brought underwear that causes a severe skin infection, and the court held the goods were not fit for purpose and breaching an implied condition. And second is Chris versus Last 1903, where a defective hot water bottle exploded and injured the buyer. So again, the court rules it wasn't fit for purpose. So these cases show that even if a buyer doesn't explicitly say, I need this to be safe and functional, but the law already assumes it. So exactly, the law protects reasonable expectation that what you buy you should work as described and be safe for normal use. So, and Malaysian scholars have added that while SOGA 1957 is based on the old UK Acts, but our local interpretation has evolved with, especially with modern consumer protection and online trade practices.
That's right, thank you. And that evolution becomes even more interesting when we look at how other systems deal with the same issue of product quality. For example, in the UK of Sale Good Acts 1979, the old term, the merchantable quality, was replaced with satisfactory quality. This change might sound small, but it also brought a big difference. The new term of focuses on that reasonable person would find acceptable, not just whether the product it works or how it looks or how it feels and how long it lasts. So good must be safe and durable and also well finished and free from defects. For instance, if someone buys a new phone, it wouldn't be considered satisfactory if it has scratches or stop working too soon, if it function at first but the approaches protects and ensures that they get the product that meet their standards. Meanwhile, the CIGS, the Convention on Contract for the International Sale of Goods, takes a slightly different view. It focuses on conformity of goods, which means the good must match what was agreed according to the agreement, or we can call that as contract. This include quality, quantity, description, packaging, labeling, and whether the good fits their normal or special purpose. Okay, for example, if a buyer orders machinery for a specific use and the seller knows about it, the machinery must be suitable for the purpose that they ordered. If not, it's considered as non-conforming under the CIGS.
So Hanu, Malaysia's focus is still more traditional, focusing mainly on fitness and merchantable quality, is it?
So both systems, the UK Act and the CIGS, aim to make trade fairer and protect buyers. The UK law ensures good meets a standard that satisfies normal consumers, while the CIGS focuses on the international trade, ensuring that goods match based on their contract and the expectation that they are demanding. In the end, both show how modern sales law has moved toward a complete and fair understanding of product quality. On that values not just performance but also appearance, safety and also reliability.
So beautifully said, Hanu. So we will have another online guest, which is AMIR. So AMIR, what is your opinion on example on interactive segment for SOGA?
Alright, let's make this practical with some real world scenario. So imagine a first case, a Malaysian tech company ordered 10,000 electronics parts from Japan under a sale contract. When the shipment arrives, half of the items are defective. They overheat and don't meet the technical specification. Okay, so under Sale of Goods Act 1957, the buyer have two main options. So for the first option is to reject the goods if the breach affect the core purpose of the contract. And the second one is to claim the damage if it's smaller issue that doesn't go to the heart of the deal. So now, let's have a quick question for our listener out there. What if only 5% of the goods are faulty? Should the buyer reject the entire shipment or just claim the damage? The answer is it depends if the faulty parts makes the goods usable for their intended purposes. So, if the essential component that stop the machine from working, the buyer can reject the whole shipment. But if it's a minor, fixable issue, the buyer should claim damage instead of terminating the entire contract. And to make it clearer, let's look into a few more examples. So for the second example, we go to the new car problem. So a buyer purchased a brand new car from a dealership. After a week, the engine keeps stalling and the aircon fails. That's not just inconvenient, okay? It goes to the core purpose of the car. So under SOGA, the breach of the condition, and the buyer can reject the whole car entirely or demand the full refunds. Now, compare that to something smaller. Okay, let's see a scratch on the door, or even a little bit of scratch on faulty radio. That will only be a branch of warranty, meaning the buyer can claim repair costs or compensation but cannot reject the whole entire car. So for the third example is the laptop case. Let's say the student buys a laptop advertised as having a 512GB SSD storage and 16GB RAM. But what is arrived is only has 256GB and 8GB of RAM. So that's a breach condition as to description. The whole can match what's promised. The buyer can reject it completely and ask for the right model or refund. However, if the laptop matches the description but the charger isn't working properly or there's a minor scratch, the buyer cannot reject but can have a little bit of compensation. Show how the legal principle apply to both big commercial deals and everyday consumer purchases. So takeaway is this: before you jump to cancel a deal or damage a refund, always ask, is it the problem is serious enough to go to root of the contract, or is it something that can be fixed? That's what determine whether it's a condition warranty under SOGA.
That's a great example. So because of that, single distinction condition versus warranty, there's often decide how far a buyer rights actually go.
Exactly, and it reminds us how important clear contracts are. One good clause can save both sides from months of dispute.
Well said, everyone. Let's wrap up today's episode with 3 big takeaways, which is the first point: under the sale of goods must Act 1957, goods must match the descriptions of merchantable quality and be fit for a purpose. And the second point, which is both buyer and seller have legal obligations. If these are branches, the buyer can either reject the goods or claim damages, depending on how serious the branch is. And lastly, always know your term. Obligation gives us stronger right than a warranty. In short, not all goods are truly good enough. So whether you are buying a laptop or a bulk shipment, understanding your legal rights can save you from expensive surprises.
Beautifully said, LUTFI. And that's all for today's episode of Legal Lens Malaysia. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and also Instagram for more bite-sized legal insights. Until next time, stay informed, stay protected, and also always read the fine print.